Human beings were running for hundreds of thousands of years before we ever invented a shoe. So some people think that's how we should still be running today, barefoot.
Well, the recent evidence in the last 10 years or so is showing that the shoes are not doing what we thought they were doing. There is no evidence that shoes prevent injuries. There's no evidence that shoes improve performance. But the other argument is that barefoot running has no evidence either. We're not used to walking around barefoot. We're certainly not used to running around barefoot. The prime thing is, in my research, is that barefoot running forces you to change the things that you normally do.
So what does happen when you go barefoot?
So bottom up this
Well,
end.
I'm going to be the guinea pig and do some running in the lab to find out.
Bit. Okay, Ruben, I'm going to put a sensor on your skin. Like that.
So what are we going to be measuring here?
Okay, Ruben, so we're measuring muscle activity from your lower leg. To do that, we've got two sensors. We've also got a couple of sensors on your feet. Now, these sensors are purely there to record when your foot hits the ground and when you push off during running.
So let's go for a run.
Ready, go. Okay, Ruben, we've got enough data from running in the shoes. I'll get you to take your shoes off now and we'll do some barefoot running.
So, George, I'm covered in dots. What's next?
Well, we've put a series of reflective markers on your legs, Ruben, because we want to capture movement of your joints around your knee and your ankle and see whether there's differences between when you're running barefoot to when you're running in the shoes.
Okay, so I've got to go running again.
You do.
Excellent.
You could see his toe, his left foot was right on that.
I feel like I've run a marathon already, and I still have to do this test barefoot.
So we've got the results from the motion analysis, and this first video that you can see is you running in your shoes, so you're shod, and you'll note that as you make contact with the ground, you can see that you're landing on your heel. And then when we switch across to you when you're barefoot running, you can clearly see that you're no longer striking with your heel, you're now landing with your forefoot. Also of interest, if we switch across to the second screen, is we're now measuring ground reaction force, and whilst in shoes, we're seeing a greater initial impact force. When you're running barefoot, that impact force is lessened.
Yeah, so when you land on your heel, you hit the ground hard.
Yeah.
The reason why people change is because mainly landing on your heel barefoot is painful. So people then change to a forefoot. Well, when you change to a forefoot, your stride length gets reduced significantly. The further consequence of that is we've shown in our laboratory that if you reduce your stride length, your metabolic cost of running goes up. The whole thing, it just escalates up from a very, very minor change.
So then what happened in the next part of the experiment? What have
Yeah,
you got
so
over
moving
here?
on to your muscle activity. The two muscles that we tested were the calf muscle and the muscle on the front of your leg. Now, if we look at the calf muscle first,